My skin is black.
What you looking
My
at?
skin
Yeah,
is black.
I feel so good to be black right now.
Welcome
Black.
to episode 80 of the Black in Fashion podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And of course, I have to start every episode with acknowledging all of our Black-owned sponsors. This episode is sponsored by kirahkinks. It is a hair rejuvenation oil that helps promote healthy hair growth, decrease split ends, and breakage. The aroma is divine and your scalp will shine. Kirahkinks also has multiple natural hair care products. She offers detangling brushes, dryers, as well as different hairdressers. Another one of our sponsors is Jaleesa Johnson at J&J Legal. They help fashion designers and entrepreneurs build their brands, protect their creativity, and secure their legacy. We offer legal services and trademarks, copyrights, business formation, and contract drafting and revising. Book a free 15-minute discovery call with them today to get your fashion empire on the right track sooner rather than too late. You can visit them at jnjlegalservices.com. So, of course, I like to start every podcast with doing a little icebreaker. I typically will do the this or that game. And today I'm joined with Rel. He's actually a fashion stylist. Hey now, he is a fashion stylist, wardrobe stylist, marketing influencer, you name it. He's actually based in the ATL. So thank you so much for joining me today. Say hello to the people.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to tap into Black fashion.
Of course. So let's start with the I want to see how I want to start. I feel like I always say the same thing, so I want to do it different this time. So I think I want to start with this or that. Trench coats or motorcycle jackets?
Ooh, trench coat.
Okay.
Definitely.
Are you a fedora guy or like baseball cap?
Fedora.
Fedora. Would you say that you are a jogger or a jean guy?
Jane.
Jean, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so what I want to do is learn a little bit about like your background, what got you into the fashion world, where you're from,
sure.
and what inspired you to take on a journey in this crazy world of fashion.
Of course. So for those that don't know, my name is Rylton Thomas. I go by Ryl or professionally as the Real Experience. I'm currently a wardrobe stylist, marketing exec, interior designer. That's just a little bit about what I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm currently a student at Clark Atlanta University pursuing business administration with a concentration in marketing. I've done everything from like music videos, film, TV, photo shoots with a lot of different celebrities and a lot of different influencers throughout Atlanta and throughout the United States as a whole. I have my own brand, Apparel by Real, which is a luxury streetwear brand that I got kicked off about last year, July.
Nice.
And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
All right. So tell me a little bit about your idea of style.
Okay.
How would you, not just defining your personal style, but just defining style as a whole?
I feel like I would just define style as a whole as a unique entity. I feel like style really allows a person to express who they are and their interests and what they love to do through like visually through fashion. So like whether, depending on your mood one day or if you're up one day and you're down one day, it just fashion allows you to play with that and allows you to express yourself. So I really find peace and I find happiness in fashion and in style. And I love just to explore the different options and the different fabrics and colors and just the different everything, like just everything style has that it brings. So yeah, I would definitely describe style as like very unique to each person.
Gotcha. Now tell me about some of your experiences styling. Would you say that it's easier to style women or men, and which do you prefer or feel is a easier person to style?
Ooh, honestly, I feel like men are easier to style generally. As far as which one is more exciting, styling women is more exciting to me because I feel like it, like the accessories, the glitz, the glam, the color, just how you can change a person, like how they look and their appearance just by the clothes and the hair and the makeup. I really find that to be like fascinating to me. So personally, I prefer styling women over men, but I have done both. Men are easier, women are harder, but I love a good challenge. So I would go for styling women.
All right. So tell me about some of the projects you worked on in the past, like with celebrity stylists and movies. Some of the things that you mentioned, like during your intro. Maybe tell me what was your favorite project and why.
Yeah, for sure. I could kind of go from like um the beginning to the end kind of per se, but I started off styling for my first ever styling opportunity was for We TV's Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta for Remarkable, who's an artist and also Eazy-E's daughter.
Gotcha.
Um I styled that, excuse me, I'm sorry. And then I immediately went to styling for Sky Days from Black Ink Crew, New York for the BET Awards, styled for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Sierra Glam Shop, working with my best friend, D. Rushing, who's also a celebrity stylist, and just working hand in hand. We work with like Tokyo Jets, Dreezy. I've personally worked with like Nivea, Lala Ree from RuPaul's Drag Race, season 13, Amy Luciani, let's see, just to name a few, yeah. So I've
Okay.
been,
Do you have a
working
favorite
with,
styling story for me?
favorite styling story. Let me see. It would probably have to be between styling for the BET Awards, Sky Days,
Mm-hmm.
or styling for Tokyo Jet's music videos, because Tokyo Jet's music videos are always just so much fun on set and just having a ball. But honestly, my top favorite would be the BET Awards, just because of the experience, like having to go and that was I did that opportunity by myself. That was my first time like meeting Sky, and it was like a big thing because it's the BET Awards, so it's like you have to be on your P's and Q's and everything has to be perfect. So um, that was honestly my favorite. And you said,
Gosh.
did you wanted a story?
Yeah, I like the nitty
um,
gritty.
yeah. Let's see. Let me see. Um, oh, I'll tell this. Funny. I never told this to anybody, so this is kind of like an exclusive.
Exclusive. Okay. Well, you heard it first right here on the
But
Black and Fashion podcast.
right, okay. So my first time, like I said, that was my first BT Awards weekend was about 2 years ago in October. Around it was the same weekend as my best friend's birthday, D. Russian. So that Friday we went out to the club, in the section. We were with, Cliff Vermeer, Sky, and a lot of other people were with us. And then the next day was the BT Awards. My friend couldn't make it, so he then, asked me, can I style her for the BT Awards? And then we would meet him at the BT Awards. So I was like, okay, cool. So I got to the hotel and it was just me, the photographer, the hairstylist, and Sky in the room. And it was like my first time being around her. And, she's like really outgoing. So it's like hard to, match that, but also still be professional where I still wanted my personality to come out. So, I mean, like the nerves were coming out. Like when I say my hands were shaking and you have to get somebody dressed so you're in their personal space. So when I was putting on her earring, my hands were like shaking so bad. Like it was my anxiety. Like, I was just so nervous. And she's just like, you good? Like, it's okay. You could be okay. And that honestly was just the first time that ever happened to me. And it was like one of my first styling experiences. So it's now to me, it's funny that I was shaking that bad and I'm so nervous because that's like my girl now. And we talk and laugh and stuff like that. But it was just so nerve
You wanted to
wracking.
make a good impression.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
makes sense.
It was dope.
Yeah, so tell me, like, getting into that world. I know that here in New York there are, multiple different like schools and programs and stuff like that kind of like can kind of push you into being a stylist. Misa Hilton has a program as well. Do you
Right.
feel that it is something that is necessary to go to school for, or do you
Mhm.
feel like you just gotta like kind of just jump out there, put yourself out there, make those
It
connections?
I feel like it depends because a lot of people, like for example, don't have the resources to go to the top fashion school or the top design school or SCAD or art, like art school, and they still have the passion, they still have the talent and the ideas and stuff, but they just don't have the resources. So it honestly depends. I would say as much as possible to get as much resources that you need, as much knowledge to research. That's what I did. I didn't go to a fashion school. I go to
Mm-hmm.
Clark Atlanta and I majored in business because I felt like with the entertainment, the fashion industry is such a hard industry to get into. I just needed a backup plan and something that would mesh well with all of my passions and bring it all together. So for me, I just basically researched all like research fabric designers, where, where stuff came from back in the 80s, the 90s, the 50s, like just the whole history of fashion itself. I researched. So like if for somebody getting into the industry, I would say if you don't have the resources or the opportunity to go to, a school for fashion or a school for what you want to do, I say take it upon yourself to research that industry as much as you can. And, it's the same knowledge that they're giving you. It's just the credibility of saying you went to a school or saying you did this on your resume. But if you're able to research that and get that knowledge, I would say go for it and do it yourself.
Gotcha. I like that. So I feel like, and I've interviewed a lot of stylists, and I've of course have a big network of them. Do you
Hmm.
feel that it is hard to make money in this profession, and like, is it hard to keep a consistent cash flow coming in, and do you typically have issues with budgets or anything like that?
Um, Yeah, starting off, it is a little harder and it's a little trickier because, like, for example, if styling is like a full-time opportunity, I have like a lot of different things that I do. So I don't really like, I never really had the opportunity to say, dang, like, this is not working out for me. But I would say it's hard to, when you're first starting, you have to keep a consistent, like, client basis or clientele or cash flow coming in because you have to create content for people to be able to see your work before they book you. That's like putting money into buying clothes and pulling fees and setting up shoots and getting new clients and reaching out and stuff like that. So yeah, it's honestly really hard. But what like an advice that I would give to that is just keep hustling and keep going, reaching out to people. Because a lot of the people that are on Instagram, as far as like influencers and celebrities and stuff, they they need people like stylists and stuff like that, but they don't reach out as much as they can. So it's like when you reach out to them, if they take initiative for that, like they take that advantage.
Gotcha. Are you one of the stylists who you would try to work with people's budget, or do you have like a certain amount that you set, like you cannot work with me if you have anything below this number?
Oh no, I definitely work with everyone's budget. Being that like a lot, like it just depends on the project and depends on the workload and stuff like that. But I definitely work with budget because I understand that everybody's trying to make it out here and everybody has a hustle. Everybody's trying to do something. And if you honestly don't have my rate or if you don't have enough, I'll work with, like, some people ask me, do I only work with celebrities? Which is not true. I work with anybody who wants to get styled by the real experience. It just depends on the situation. But yeah, I definitely work with budgets.
Gotcha. So tell me about, and this I have a segment. It's
Mhm.
called "It's a Success or It's a Disaster,"
Say
and
it
it's a
again.
success or it's a
Okay.
disaster.
I got you. Got you.
And this segment is actually brought to you by the Assembly Line. The Assembly Line is a full-service fashion consulting firm that focuses on cultivating and developing emerging talent by providing resources and guidance on all fronts. They provide
Okay.
various services, including project management, brand building, creative services, product development, and all around consulting to build new brands and elevate established fashion businesses. Their mission is to empower entrepreneurs at any stage of their business and is here to help you build your brand from concept to consumer and everything in between. They're actually based in Atlanta,
Oh,
an
that's
amazing company.
yeah.
And I'm actually partnering with them. We are going on tour. It's called the Closed Mind Summit. Me, myself, Elsie Apparel Consulting, the Assembly Line, and J&J Legal are all fashion businesses that plan on coming to. We'll be in Atlanta April 23rd. We'll be in
Oh
Houston
wow,
June
I definitely have to
22nd.
check that out.
We'll
That sounds
be
really amazing.
yeah, in August we'll be in Chicago, and October we'll be in Miami. So
Okay.
tell me about a time in your business where, and just like your profession, that something went really bad. Like it went to shit. Like it was a terrible
Okay.
thing, and then, but it was, however, a learning experience. And maybe you incorporated something new within your business and the way you do things because of this thing. Because sometimes, my mother calls them bought lessons. You make
Mm.
a really mistake, but then you learn something from it. Or somebody gets you really good, and then you learn something from it.
Yeah, for sure. Thinking about it, let me see. Something went really, really bad. I would say it was when I was like kind of first, not really first starting out, but first starting out. Because I've grown since then. But it was for I was just trying to, like I said, gain new clients, gain notability, and gain more like work for my portfolio and stuff like that. So I was working with one of my clients, and I was reaching out to different brands on behalf of my clients to kind of get some, promo deals and ambassadorships and things of that sort. So it's kind of a miscommunication and misinterpretation between me and the brand. And they had sent me a couple of pieces for myself as well as my clients to promo. And then apparently something happened where a friend of my clients wore the piece that my client had and posted it on Instagram. So like it was like a domino effect, and my client didn't wear the piece that was for them. So the brand happened to see the post on Instagram, and they knew immediately that it was their piece because they researched and stuff like that. And so they hit me up very upset, and they were just basically requesting me that I pay and send their pieces back and tag and I was first starting out, and this was the first time that this happened to me. So it was like, what do I do? Like, it was just a disaster. It was really a disaster because I was embarrassed on behalf of like my name and the brand, and then on behalf of my clients, because it was like a whole situation, and I didn't want the brand to reach out to my clients and then mess up like my whole operation I had going on. So it was just so bad, but I ended up fixing it by giving the brand back their pieces and tagging and doing all the right protocols. So yeah, it was a disaster, but it came out a success.
Okay. Yeah. I can see. And also, I know that that social media thing can definitely be a catch-22 when you're working with brands and stuff like that. Do you have like agreements and contracts and stuff like that in place, or is it like kind of just like a word of
Yeah.
mouth thing?
Yeah, now I do because really it depends on the brand, because some like brands that require me to return their pieces or stuff like that, I make sure there's a contract in place just in case of damages or like something gets lost or missing, or if somebody doesn't hold up their end of the contract. So everything is legalized now because I have like a business manager and a publicist now. So they make sure that all of my stuff is legalized and everything's running smoothly.
Gotcha, gotcha. Love that. So tell me about what your favorite brands are. Like, do you have certain brands that you stick to for certain types of pieces? I want to kind of hear about what your thoughts on black
For
designers and
sure.
utilizing black designers more, or the little elephant
Yeah.
in the room when it comes to like the exposure and visibility of black designers versus the more well-known fashion design houses.
Yeah. So, honestly, like for me, I personally, I'm gonna say this, my favorite brands and stuff, like to go out and like quick shop, like from a mall or something, would have to be like H&M and Zara, because those are the two places that really describe me as a person. Like, I'm simple, but I still give you color, I still give you a pop here and there, and I still like luxury. As far as black fashion designers, I'm really, really, really obsessed with like the whole movement right now and normalizing black fashion, black owned businesses. So like Christopher John Rogers, Laquan Smith, Telfar, Pyre Moss, like those four right now are really killing the game, and I really adore them. Um, and I really appreciate them for being like the face of the black fashion industry. TLC, La Femme, who else? Fenty, Rihanna's killing the fashion and beauty game. Um, let's see, any more favorites? Those are the five that comes to the top of my head right now. But those are definitely like really, really dope brands.
Do you find it hard to pull from black designers, and like that clients are not as receptive and they typically want something that is more well known or has like a higher, stature when it comes to price
Yeah,
points?
and that comes with just like the fashion industry itself. It's like you have to have some type of credibility to you before you can like be able to get certain things. So it is kind of harder. But a lot of the times, like I found it easier nowadays, especially with like the whole, movement that people are trying to um, push out there. They want to collab with like black designers and black creatives are collabing more. So I find they're more lenient now, nowadays when I reach out and stuff like that. So yeah, it's becoming easier.
It's becoming easier. Okay. So tell me about like a experience like you had maybe like with a client where the budget like was really tight and how you had to maneuver around so that you're also being compensated for your time but also giving the client the best thing for them.
Yeah. So I believe it was for a client music video, and everyone knows that music videos are like they're a different level within a photo shoot or just like a content shoot or like a little shoot for on Instagram. So I think the budget was about like, let me see. All right, if I can remember correctly, it was like $250 for like 3 looks, and I'm like, whoa.
What you
And it
gonna
was
do
like,
with that?
right, that's literally a pair of shoes or something like that. But no, I find it like sometimes it depends on the situation. Like in that case, I would ask, like, um, even though the budget is a little low, like, would you be open to, making sure that you promote me on Instagram and make sure that you tag me? So at least that if I'm not getting paid like monetarily, like at least I'm gaining something out of this, which would be a tag and more people see me and its exposure and stuff like that. So I can make an outfit out of $0. But it's just about like, of course, like you said, how do I get my end of it, because there's still dry cleaning fees, transportation, pool fees, like just everything. So yeah, I make sure. It was the time I did that.
Gotcha. So now I want to hear a little bit more about this interior design side. Just
Yeah.
like how you got into it, what motivates you, or like what is your favorite, I guess, like art? Like, do you like,
Uh-huh.
for me, for like my house, like the way I describe it and stuff like that is very, very glam and very, very luxe. So do you have a favorite when it comes to like when you're designing, and what are questions that you
Hmm.
ask someone when you're trying to understand how to design their space?
Yeah. So with interior design, it honestly just came from like my mom. And my mom influences like 99.9% of the stuff that I do. But she like just always had the house clean, and I just loved really, well, I love, not love real estate, like to the T. Like I watch tours on YouTube all the time. I look at houses and like I'm moving somewhere. But I like for interior design, I do set design and I'll do people's spaces and offices and stuff like that. But I my favorite, I would say, theme would have to be like a boho chic type of theme where it's like
Chic.
pompous flowers and linens and whites and nudes and just like a neutral vibe, because I like a space to be more serene, because that's where like that's like a sanctuary where you come to relax and get your mind off of things. So it needs to be like less cluttered or as possible to me in my head. So that's like my go-to theme is boho chic, but I do like a modern and I do like a luxurious vibe as well. Um, but yeah, like I love different type of pieces, accent pieces, decor, love seeds. Like I said, pompous flowers, they're really popping right now. And also like a good floral arrangement. You can never go wrong with a good floral arrangement.
That's a fact. I love me some lilies and some roses.
Yes.
Now, question that I always like to ask as a stylist, do you feel like it's a good idea for like maybe like designers to work closely with stylists when designing collections, or like do you think it's better for like them to go ahead and like design things, and then like maybe a stylist comes in like towards the end and like they do like the creative direction and stuff like that? Where she's like, where do you feel like a stylist should like really insert themselves? Because I know I've had some stylists tell me that like designers ask them to style stuff, and then they look at it and it's just like, I can't do anything with this. And then
Right.
there's other ones like wishing that they had came in more so on the front end. So do you think that that relationship between stylists and designers really do need to be like in sync?
Yeah, I definitely think we should commonize that within the fashion industry, being that like stylists work very, very closely with their clients. So it's like they know exactly what they're looking for, exactly what they want. And then as far as like putting outfits together, that's like the main job of a stylist, and making sure that the image is looking with the way it needs to look. And I kind of call myself like an image architect in a way. And I got that from another stylist, Law Roach. He calls that's what he prides himself in being, as an image architect. So it's like with designers, they have the ideas, but if they were to bring stylists in on how to tweak little things that might not work out in the stylist's favor, because there's a lot of times where us stylists, we like safety pins are my best friends. We have to safety pin this and take this out and go get this cut off and open this up. So if designers were to bring stylists on, I think it would make it very much more easier for stylists and for designers as well. So yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like they don't I feel like they don't mesh well together a lot of times. And I feel like because a lot of times either stylists think they're the designer or the designer think that they can style stuff, and opposed to just working together, they rather just do things on their own. And that's why, like, for me, I have a lot of like people, like I own a consulting company. I'm sure you know that though, right? Yeah, like I get a lot of stylists that want to create brands, and then it's like I have designers that have brands, but then don't know what to do after they're done with their product, and I'm just like, y'all need to figure out how to
Right.
come together, and like
Yeah.
unify, because it's just like I can probably match so many different stylists and designers together, and I'm just like, okay, y'all just need to work together and collab together and grow one another instead of trying to do it separately, But everybody
Yeah.
has this mentality like this is mine, this is my baby, and not as much unity as I feel like it should be, in my
Right.
opinion.
That's so true because it's like when like stylists have a certain vision in their head, and some stylists can't design or they can't sketch or they can't sew. So it's like if they were to be able to describe or like show an example of what they're speaking of or what the idea they have in their head, and the designer can bring that to life, I feel like that would be so much more efficient. So yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Absolutely. So my last segment that I have is called "It's a Muse," and this segment is brought to you by the Brownstone Experience. The Brownstone Experience is a wellness, fashion, and beauty experience inside the Black woman community. They are currently sourcing Black-owned designers to add to their monthly collections. They are open to building creative partnerships with Black-owned product brands. They understand the old retail model does not work for both parties and are ready to create new and innovative approaches to meet clients. They actually are based in Texas. They're an amazing company and new partnership. So tell me about something that inspires you, or a muse or something like that, that as more of a muse, something that you utilize to keep you going. Whether it's something that you've read, whether it's like a museum exhibit, a piece of art, a mantra, an affirmation, anything in that realm that just kind of keeps you going that you would like to share with somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. Well, number one, like in my everyday life, I use, of course, because I'm Christian, I pray to God, and He, just ask Him to guide my steps and have me go where He wants me to go and open the doors for me. But other than that, like I do read a lot of like fashion magazines, fashion outlets, just to keep my mind going and fresh about like and up to date of pop culture and what's going on today. As far as like affirmations and mantras and stuff, I do like write down like my goals and I read them over to myself and I pray over them. So like manifesting and making them come to life and to fruition, because I've seen that it happened a lot in the past where I've said things and they've came to pass within the next year or so, within 6 months. So it's just, like just walking in positivity and always like remembering and realizing your goals and keep speaking it. Because the more you speak it, the more it's likely to happen.
Gotcha. I love that. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. So if you just want to throw out like all your social media handles and like where people can go to find you and the best way to get in contact with you if they're like interested in any of your services.
For sure. You guys can find me on Instagram at The Real Experience, on Twitter at Real Experience _, on YouTube, The Real Experience, Facebook, Rylton Thomas, TikTok at The Real Experience, and did I miss any? Oh, LinkedIn, Rylton Thomas. Yeah.
All of it. Give it all of it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. And of course, our last sponsor of the day is Chase Jackson Accounting. If you need help with your business finances, accounting, and advisory, they're here with all your small business needs, from formation to accounting services and taxes. So, I got to link all Black owned brands, businesses, products, everybody to everyone. All of our sponsors are Black owned, and we just make sure we continuously promote them, especially when it comes to finances and legal and like really building your business, because I know and I feel that, we're competing with brands and businesses that have been around for, umpteen years. And we're getting to a space where we are almost, I feel like Black owned business has really been on the rise within the last 30 years. But like I said, we're competing against companies that have been around for hundreds of years. But we're definitely getting there. So I just think it's super important to make sure that we're constantly inspiring one another, providing resources and helping each other as much as possible.
Yeah. For sure. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
myself.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your experiences. And I really enjoyed our conversation.
Okay, yes, me too. Thank you.
No problem. You have an amazing day. And as I
You as
always say,
well.
people, stay black. Peace out.
Stay black. Yes, I
All
love
right.
that.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye, you too.
Bye-bye.